Steph.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Bariatric Banter Podcast.
What is this one? 26?
26.
Wow.
I know. Time is flying.
26.
I know. What a good year that was. It wasn't, but
It
wasn't at all.
Oh, I don't even remember.
I think when you're 26, you think it's a good year. And then when you're in your 30s, you're like,
Oh, man.
the 20s.
Oh, I was so young and naive.
Yeah. And had no
I
disposable
don't even
income.
remember 26.
I was working. That's all I remember.
I was in that first year of marriage and everything is so perfect.
Oh, cute.
Right?
I
How
like
little
that.
we know.
I like that my reflection is, I was working.
Oh.
Great year of working.
How little we knew back then.
Right? Well, welcome to another episode. Still going strong.
For now.
Dun, dun, dun.
You guys are still listening, so hey.
We're not going anywhere.
No.
We're making it
fun.
work. It's working. I'm sipping on a protein coffee.
Yeah, we
right
both
now,
are.
which is great.
That's how exciting we are.
I know.
I love it.
But it's kind of funny because that's what we want to talk about today is calorie counting. We've had a lot of questions just mainly about how do we do it. Really, we don't have a lot of people questioning why we do it or fighting us on it.
Nope.
It's just more, okay, can you take us through what that looks like for you? And it's like, oh yeah, I guess we really never told people.
No, how do you tackle it?
How we do it.
I've had people that kind of say like, I don't even know where to start.
Oh yeah.
Or how do you tackle it? Or how do I figure it out? And it's really not that complicated, but we'll talk about the different spots that we are in terms of calories and how we look at calories at different points.
The calorie part in itself is not complicated.
No.
What's complicated is nobody giving you goddamn macros.
Oh my gosh, it drives me nuts.
And like this is the bane of my existence is not being given macros, not being told, this is how much fat and calories and other stuff you need. So like buckle up because obviously I have spicy feelings about this, but
it's probably my biggest, we're going to go down a rabbit hole.
Oh,
it's probably my biggest frustration with the program is I have no idea where I'm supposed to be at this point in my journey. I have to rely on and I have to rely on Google, which is a disaster because as we've talked about, every program's different, every person's different, all the guidelines are different. We know people break the rules. So there's no good information or answer. And that's exactly it. When you ask the program, they give you the end goal amounts and they say, well, you just have to figure it out based on the end goal. Well, that doesn't tell me shit.
Doesn't tell me anything.
No.
Also, there's so much misinformation out there. Like, oh, here's the keto plan that I use.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like we were told never to eat keto after bariatric surgery. So like
that doesn't work. People do that. I've noticed.
I think they think because it's low carb and no sugar, they're like, well, that's what my bariatric diet is. Right, but you're also supposed to be like very low fat,
which is like exact opposite of keto.
Fat is actually more important than carbs. Like I don't know where the antichrist carb, notion came from keto. Where it's like, oh my God, you can't have carbs after bariatric surgery. I actually was never told that by anybody in the program. What I was told was fat and sugar. Like
carbs never came up.
No, never ever. If anything, they said, we want you to learn about complex carbs and we'd like you to eat more complex carbs. And I was like, what is that? And it's like, sweet potatoes. And I went,
quinoa.
I love quinoa, bulgur.
But carbs are in, like, if I go back and look at my binder,
they're in there.
I'm positive that they're in every phase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bread, half an English muffin. Like I remember getting not lectured because they're lovely humans, but I remember the dietitian being like, what carbs did you have with breakfast? And I was like, none, Sheila.
And you think that's a good answer until they tell you.
She's like, okay, well, you need to start working in like half an English muffin. And I remember being a little saucy then, being like, and how exactly would you like me to eat that? Because I can barely get through the egg that I'm having right now.
I know, they told me that too at my 6-month follow-up.
Even now, they're, when I look at what I'm eating, there's no carbs on my breakfast plate. And I'm not
me neither
bragging about that. It's not good, but it's like I can't fit my 2 scrambled eggs and 1 chicken sausage. Like I'm capping out there.
Yeah.
So I know what it means. I have to cut the egg portion down to fit a carb in.
But that's protein.
Well, and that's where people get, and that's why we're going to talk about calories, because that's where people make these sacrifices where they're like, well, I'm going to protein load everything I have. And it's like, protein is the most important thing here, but fiber is key in weight loss, like really key in weight loss. And
it's tough.
You get it from carbs and you get it from fruit, and you don't really get it as much from
I'm good with
protein.
The fruit, but I'm the same with the carbs. Like I know if I have makes me sad to talk about the tortillas because
Oh,
I only have
God.
one left.
Again, it's our
But
plea. If
if
you are an
you're
American listening,
and you're near a Target
we need
or
some
grocery
Mission
store,
Carb tortilla, and we will pay a premium for you
right?
to send them to
You will
us.
be our favorite
You can,
listener.
yeah, we'll name the podcast after you. Welcome to Bariatric
Right?
Banter, brought to you by,
Featuring.
Sheila from Long Island.
But it's true. Like if I have one of those with my dinner and I make like a fajita or a taco or some sort of
Fajito.
pie, fajito,
I love
a
it. It's a fajita
fajito,
burrito.
right? It's the best. And if I make something like that, I know I'm going to be so full.
Amen.
And so I put my 2 ounces of chicken in and my veggies and I wrap it up and
Yeah.
I have maybe finished it twice when I'm really hungry.
Yeah.
But I know that those carbs are going to fill me up so fast. They're going to sit
Yep.
more heavily. And then I panic because then I didn't get my protein in.
Yep.
But I got my carbs in. But now, like, it's a tough balance.
Yeah.
And I get carbs in from fruit and fiber in from fruit for sure. But I definitely don't eat enough carbs. And they told me that at my 6-month follow-up too. She asked me too. And where are your carbs? I was like,
around.
I had some raspberries and some blueberries.
They're around.
But they just fill me up really fast.
They do. And but they're not bad. I think the one thing I need people to know is they're not the demon. They're not the enemy. If anything, when I see my dietitian, because I have one post surgery, there's a lot of conversation about, well, how are you going to fuel for exercise?
Yes.
Not even just running, but running. Yes, you need a lot of carbs for running, but it's you kind of got to start fueling. And my body has now caught up to the point where it's girl, we can't just roll out of bed and go for a run anymore. It's not working.
I need something.
And you might feel okay in the beginning, because I did. I used to be a roll out of bed and go type of person, just living on the water and whatever. But it's not that your body catches up in that moment. It's that a couple weeks or months down the line, all of a sudden you start feeling terrible and you're like, oh my God, what disease have I caught? And it's you don't have a disease. You just did not,
no carb
you
disease.
didn't fuel your body enough, and it doesn't catch up instantly. It takes time.
Yeah.
So even my doctor at my checkup, because I see my family doctor regularly for bariatric, how we doing? He said, hey, I think you need to talk to your dietitian about potentially upping your carbs.
Mhm.
I know you eat less than, normal people, and I'm not encouraging you to eat more, but I think you might need to start balancing more carbs into the diet to help kind of offset the exercise. And he said, even if you were to not do anything and just sit around, you're still eating way less than you're burning. So you might need to look at balancing that differently. So yeah, we went on a tangent about carbs for a hot minute, but the whole thing comes back to calorie counting. And I kind of wish there was a different word for it, because I know a lot of you get fear out of hearing that. You get really negative association with it. You think it's, welcome to the 90s, dieting all over again.
Or
and
don't have, it's going to be a huge time commitment.
Yeah,
that's what I hear from a lot of people. I don't have the time to log my food or to track
I get that.
stuff.
And we're going to cover that, because we both had that issue.
Totally.
And then the other thing I think I hear is oh, well, there's just no way I could eat so little and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Before surgery, thinking about calorie counting is crazy, because it's basically like before training for a marathon and somebody says to you, hey, in a year, you're going to be running a 21-kilometer marathon. In that moment, you're probably going to throw up and go, there's not a singles chance in hell I'm doing that. And it's the same with calorie counting. If I tell people now who've been obese and overweight and haven't had surgery that you're going to be calorie counting 1,000 calories, 1,200 calories, you immediately panic, because in no way do you think you can actively achieve that. The surgery will help with it. So don't panic about the number yet.
No.
But I would just say that it's not calorie counting. It's success planning. And I know that sounds like I'm gaslighting the shit out of everybody here, but don't think about it negatively, because it really is a lot more than just the calories. If anything, they'll tell you in surgery, the calories will figure themselves out. Focus on everything else. Did Steph and I like that answer? No. And did we both go, no, give me the calories. And we fought back, and so does everybody. But the truth is, once I kind of stopped looking at the calories, it really does balance itself out.
Yep.
And I didn't realize it's an actual mathematic system. If you go into MyFitnessPal and you put in, I need 100 grams of protein, I need, my carbs to be 40% of my diet and fat to be 20. MyFitnessPal will literally do the math for you.
It'll give you the calories.
Great, you're going to have 1,301 calories today to hit those numbers. And it's oh shit. Okay.
Perfect. And I honestly, I look at the calories, don't get me wrong, but the protein is my biggest focus. I look at my protein. I honestly don't really look at my fat, because I know I'm not eating a lot of high fat.
Yeah.
I keep an eye on the carbs just to make sure I'm not going bananas.
Yep.
But it's really the protein. And then I keep, like, I look at the calories just to see where I'm tracking through the day. And then at
Yeah.
the end of the day to go, oh shit, I still have 300 calories left.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to consume all of those calories, but
No.
it's more of a, hey, where am I sitting today? Am I on track? Have I eaten enough today?
Yeah.
Or am I one of those days where I want to eat everything and no, you got to rein it in?
I've got those
But
days.
it's really the protein is the biggest one I track. And
Yep.
then I look at calories, and we talked about it a little bit on last episode, where if you look at something, if you're looking at a food and you're like, I have no idea if this calorie amount is normal or good or acceptable. If you look at the protein on the
Yes.
nutrition label,
Easy hack right
yeah,
here,
this has
folks.
changed everything. It's
Oh
so
my
easy.
God.
Look
My
at the
mom does
yeah,
this.
look at the protein. So for example, if the protein is 9, add a 0 to make it 90. Your calories should be 90 or less.
Yep.
That is a good source of protein
Yep.
and a good ratio of
Yep.
protein to calorie. If your protein is 4 and the calories are 300,
Get out.
put it away.
Run.
So that's what I do. Like, I look at the calories in general, and if it
Yeah.
seems kind of high, like if I look at something and it's whatever calories and kind of go, "Oy,"
Yeah.
I'll quickly look at the protein, and then I'll say, okay, you know what? Actually,
Not
this
that
isn't
bad.
a bad ratio. And the other thing to keep in mind post surgery with calories when you're looking at labels is whatever the serving size is, we're typically not eating
You won't be
the
eating
full
it.
serving.
Yeah.
So I look at that, and then I kind of cut it in half or into a portion, and then
Same.
say, okay, so if I look at something and it's 300 calories, for me, that's a lot because I'm only eating 900 calories a day right
Yep.
now.
Yep. It's
But
a
then
third of your day.
but then I say, hang on a second, I'll probably only eat half of this serving size. Okay, 150 calories, not so bad.
Not bad.
So don't get scared by
Oh
a high
God, no,
calorie
don't.
number. You have
No.
to look at the whole
And be
picture.
flexible. So like there are going to be times, for example, a Built Bar, which
Yep.
I'm looking at right now. Some of the Built Bars are going to be 17 grams or 15 grams of protein, but 170 calories. You can be a
That's
little
pretty
flexible.
close.
Exactly. So yes, the rule is you want it to be the same or less ideally, but there are instances where I'm like, okay, well, this is only 10 calories off. I'm going to do
Yeah.
it. Like the edamame packs, I think are 10 grams of protein, but 110
Yeah.
calories. And
Pretty
I was
freaking
like,
close.
okay, that's close enough. That's fine. What the real one to watch that we've found a lot is the ones that's like, oh, it's 20 grams of protein, 350 calories. That is in no way worth it.
No.
And you'll see on Instagram a lot of these like bodybuilding accounts and stuff that share these high protein meal prep. I think we've all seen the ones that make like creamy mac and cheese that's
Mhm.
like crazy protein, blah, blah, blah. Those are like 500 to 600 calorie meals and they have maybe 30 to 40 grams of
Yeah.
protein. They're not for us. Those are for
Nope.
bodybuilders. Those are for people
Hardcore
like, yeah,
athletes.
that are
Yeah.
burning 5 times as much as they're ingesting. So like watch some of the recipes you find,
Yep.
but Steph's right. Like don't fear this either. I think that's the one thing I see people focus on the wrong way
Yeah.
is I need to undereat my calories. So I shouldn't come to like, first of all, we are not eating as much as normal human beings after surgery. You never will. Like, yes, some people will get back to 2 to 3,000 calories. That's their own journey, yada, yada, yada. 1,500 calories is not a normal amount. Like,
No, that
there
is
are people,
undereating for an average adult.
100%. And there are people who are like, oh my God, well, if
How are
you're
you gonna
like if you're
survive?
assigned 1,500 calories, there are people who will religiously not eat near 1,500.
Mhm.
They'll eat 1,300 instead, and they'll be like, "Well, I shouldn't get to 1,500. That's terrible." It's not.
No.
1,500 is still far, 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 far less than other
The average
people,
adult is like 2,000 to 2,200.
and that's resting.
Yeah.
That's before exercise.
So
So
you're already under.
you're fine, but like, don't be scared of calories. They are not the enemy here. And the other reason to track it, it's not because you're going to go over. I think that's the one thing that you need to understand. In your first year, you are meant to get up to 1,200
Yeah.
because in your like after your first year, you should be between 12 and 15 for the rest of your life. There's a lot of people who fear and don't want to increase. And
It's
it's like,
scary.
it's normal. It's what's supposed to
Yeah.
happen. If you're trying to restrict calories, you're restricting other macros at the same
You're
time.
and nutrients and
So
yeah.
this is the big thing. Okay, great. So Steph says to me, you know what, Hannah, I got 100 grams of protein today, and I got my fat in, great, but I have like 600 leftover calories. I guess I just won't be eating those because I've hit my protein goal. The fuck you won't. Like, They're like,
They're there for a
calories are
reason.
there for a reason as well. Protein is king. Protein is essential. But just because you've hit your protein doesn't mean that you ignore
You don't stop
everything
eating.
else for the day.
No.
You have to finish those calories. Like,
You
you
need to
have to
fuel
get them in.
yourself.
Your body can't
No.
sustain itself if you're under eating
No.
calories. So don't, that's why you have to track everything. You don't just stop when you've hit your protein goal.
And especially we've been talking about movement and moving your body.
Yes.
Even if you're just walking or like, not to make it sound like it's not exercise, but yoga or stretching or anything, you still need to fuel your body. You still need to eat the
Yes.
calories. And I will say, as somebody who is not at like the max yet, it's scary to think about increasing your calories. I've
It
messaged Hannah
is.
numerous times. I'm like, I think I need to increase, but I don't want to.
And I've always been like, increase,
Right?
increase.
And
It's going to help with weight
yeah, like
loss.
I'm 8 and almost 8.5, 8-ish months, 8 and a bit months out. So
Woohoo!
really, I am at 900. I should be now again, probably increasing to,
Yeah.
because I only have 3.5, 4 months left until I'm at the 1 year,
Yep.
which is crazy.
I know, that's insane.
And then I should be at that 12, 1500
1,200.
maximum number, right?
Yep.
So, but it's a scary thought, and I totally get that.
Oh, I get it.
But you're still going to be under the average.
Yes.
And even at my 6 month, when I was talking to the whole team, and they were looking at my food and they were looking at everything, and I kept asking about the calories, they kept brushing me off because they kept saying, yeah, but you're really active. You're really active. You're really active.
Yes.
You need it. And I was like, I know, but I like, tell me. And the one dietitian, I think it was the dietitian or the nurse, one of them, I can't remember, even said, that if I was at the 1,200 mark right now, they wouldn't even have a problem with that because
Yeah.
I'm working out every day. I'm doing strength training, all of the things.
Yes.
Now, am I going to do that? No, no, but
You could.
I could, but you need to fuel yourself. And a quick sidebar on that, because I saw it yesterday and I just thought about it now with the movement.
Yeah.
I personally am not one of the people who will eat my exercise
I
calories.
don't do this either.
No.
I do not do this either.
I don't. Number one,
Nope.
the watches and the trackers are not accurate, so I don't go by that. And I am not one of those people. I know there's
Correct.
people out there who will say, oh, okay, well, my workout burned 300 calories, so I'm going to add an additional. No,
Nope.
I do not. I do
Nope.
not do that.
Nope,
No.
me either. And like, it's so funny you mentioned that the trackers don't work. You'll notice I'm not wearing my Garmin today. And special note, we're filming in the same spot today.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Woo.
I'm not wearing my Garmin, and now I love Garmin. This is not a knock on Garmin. They are wildly inaccurate,
Oh, yeah.
especially when they
Apple
start
Watch
to
too.
fail. So my Garmin has been failing, and it actually burned me.
Which is crazy.
Like, I'm not even being like figurative, like literally burned me. And so it was telling me all these things, like you have a racing heart rate, you have AFib, you have all this stuff.
I'm
So of course I start panicking, and I'm like, holy shit, I have heart disease, I have AFib.
Right?
Oh no. So I have been going through cardiac testing with my doctor, and everything has come back clean. And I've done, like, I did the gold standard. I did
Everything.
every test imaginable for the max amount of time. So like 7-day Holter. I did all the like crazy imaging and dye testing and stress testing. Like, I did it all. And the cardiologist was like, you have
You're
one of the
fine.
most exceptional hearts. Like, you are perfect. There's nothing going on.
Thanks, Garmin.
And so my doctor and I were like, your watch is wildly inaccurate. And it was like, I wore the watch while doing some of the testing to show them. And they were like, so I remember being like, look, it's telling me right now that I'm in AFib. And she's like, so you're hooked up to our ECG, and I'm showing you have normal sinus rhythm. She's like, a wrist watch is not going to show you shit.
Apple, Apple, Garmin,
Fitbit,
all of them.
Google, whatever. They're wildly inaccurate. Now, is that to say they're bad? No, I like being able to track like how far in distance I went, like using it how it was meant to be. We're tirade here. They were meant to be fitness trackers. They were never meant to be health trackers, nor has anybody done a really good job with health tracker. Now, there have been great instances of Apple saving men who are having heart attacks.
Yes.
You know, obviously, if you're having like a major crisis, usually it can pick it up.
Right.
The amount of false things it picks up can lead to crazy health anxiety in people like me, Hannah, who panicked and booked a cardiologist.
Telling me I'm dying.
Good Lord. I was on an airplane to Nashville, and I was like, I'm going to die in Nashville. That's what's going to happen. This is great. Anyway, I digress. I don't count the calories from them because they are not accurate. They either undercount or overcount. da 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 da. And I don't want to overeat, because when I was obese, I would use any excuse to eat more because I would calorie count then too. But keep in mind, when before surgery, when you would calorie count, you didn't have the education you're about to have
No.
going through this program. So I was bad at it. And then I would put all my calories in from exercise, I say with air quotes,
Yeah.
and then just overeat
Right.
like a maniac. So I don't count it now. But I know people are going to say, but Hannah, you said that you need to fuel for running or fuel for exercise, though. Good call out, people. I do. But that doesn't mean I put extra
Right.
in. What happens, or I don't count my exercise towards my calories. What happens is on days that I have long runs, so the day that I did my 10K a couple months ago, I knew I was going to go way over my calorie count that day, but I had simple, complex carbs and calories before my run. So I had a big glass of orange juice because I needed the instant sugar and carbs. I had Nerds gummies on my run because they fuel you while you go. I had some running gels, and I knew when I got home, I was going to eat like a big breakfast. Big for a bariatric patient is 3/4 of a cup, but I knew that I was going to have like maple syrup with breakfast sausages. I was going to have a biscuit. And then that was kind of it. I did not let the rest of the day turn into eat whatever you want to eat. I just made sure that every meal from that point on had carbs in it. So whether it was sweet potatoes, some regular potatoes, no matter what, like a piece of bread, a tortilla, like I just put extra carbs into all my meals that day. And then that was it. And that's what I mean by fueling for what I'm doing. I make sure that I talk to my dietitian to make the right plan for me. And that involves eating a bit more in that day. But I didn't come home and go 10K, let's put 700 calories into my day and away we go. And that's only for long runs. I don't do this for 5Ks. I don't do this for little 2Ks around the neighborhood. And I don't do it for the strength training that I do with the body system. That was just specifically for a 10K because that's over an hour and a half of
That's
straight
a big
running.
on your body.
And the last thing I need to do is drop in the middle of the road because I didn't accurately prepare for this run. So no, Steph's right. I don't count those in my day to day.
The point of exercising is to burn calories.
You don't need to eat them back.
No. So if I'm going to burn them, if I'm going to put the time and effort into burning them, why am I going to go put them back?
Yeah, why am I eating them?
Yeah, I'm exercising to lose weight and burn. So to me, it doesn't make sense to then go and put them back in. Then I just won't exercise.
Now, I'll say the caveat is if you're running long endurance things.
If you're doing like marathons or Ironmans or
or more than you've ever done in your life. Yes. If you're out in the hot heat. Yes. If you're doing like crazy workout classes. Yes. But what I would do instead of add calories is I would just add extra snacks in the day. So after body pump, I used to always eat a Built bar because
have a protein bar, have a protein shake.
Because they say 30 grams of protein 30 minutes after, a workout class. So like I would fit it in here and there. Yes, my calories would naturally go up a little, but I wasn't adding it because the thing is, once you see that you have room, you will eat that room.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I would just be comfortable knowing I'm going to go over today and it is what it is.
That's a 140 calorie bar versus 350 to 500 calories of something. So it's more about, yes, potentially giving your body a little extra, but it's not so much about replacing those calories. It's about giving yourself an extra boost of good nutrition.
Well, and it's funny you say that because the dietitian didn't say, well, I need you to have more calories before your run. She said, can you make sure you get X amount of carbs and this amount of sugar before your run? And make sure you have X amount of protein and carbs on your way back. So like they don't even tell you this in terms of calories. When you're fueling for exercise or workout, they'll actually tell you X amount of protein, X amount of carbs. And then don't worry about the calories because if you hit the protein and the carbs, you're refueling your body. So the thing here is like, you don't need as much as you think you do to refuel. No. Running will make you hungry. And so that's where it gets dangerous if you add those calories back in, because I would tell Steph after running, like I could eat a child. Like I literally am hungry after running. And it's because, I burned a lot of stuff, but like you don't need as much as you think you do to recover. No. Have a lot of protein, have a lot of complex carbs, take a few days to like drink water, electrolytes, have your refuel and away you go. If you're working out every single day, you're running a 10K a day, then you probably need a dietitian to talk about
You're
things.
Also crazy.
Yeah, that's insanity to me. But so when it comes to calories,
keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
I'm not even going to say 12 anymore. I'm between 13 and 1500. which is exactly where I'm supposed to
Yep.
be. My doctor's super happy with my weight loss. I'm maintaining my weight loss. I still would like to lose a bit more weight, but for me, it's not the eating. I need to get back into regular exercise. Everybody knows, because this is the 900th time I've said it, pneumonia kicked my ass this
Yeah.
year and completely derailed like my crazy exercise plan. And it's taken a while to get my stamina
For sure.
back up and running. So I know for me, it's just exercise that will make that difference, not restricting, because there's no way I can restrict where I'm
No.
at. That's insane.
No.
And so that's fine. I know where I'll be able to get, and that's okay. So I eat between 1,300 and 1,500 calories. I use MyFitnessPal. I hate it. There is no good alternative. I hate MyFitnessPal. It's such a junky, shitty interface. Please, someone send this to MyFitnessPal, because I literally would love to tell them how shit their fucking app is. But it's the best of the shit that's out there. It constantly breaks. It
The
constantly won't
best of
load
the shit.
pages.
I love it.
It's just the most annoying thing I've ever used. However, it is the best of the worst. So it will actually tell you your macros. It will actually tell you what it is you need to do. So people are probably going to be shocked by, like, my macros are way off in here. I can tell you right now, these are not accurate. I'm looking at MyFitnessPal while I take you through this, but I use MyFitnessPal, and that's not accurate. Don't know where that came from. It's telling me just the
I
wildest
was gonna say, go to
macros
one of
right
your like
now.
old logged days, and
Will it
it'll tell
show me
you.
my
Yeah, if you go to MyFitnessPal, it'll and you go to one of your previous days, it
okay,
should
so I
show
don't
you
yeah, I
like
don't one of my previous
a
days.
day where you know it wasn't
MyFitnessPal
wonky.
needs to give you the option to, like, see wherever you've logged food. Okay, well, see, it just changes
Yeah,
the
see, there's a revised protein that looked more accurate for you.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's really low on the calories. Sorry, guys, we're looking at, like,
There, use
MyFitnessPal.
that. That's a good one.
That's an insane one. I don't know where this is
Oh.
2024. Okay, so
Hannah's going way back in time.
going way, way back, folks, way back in the way back. There we go.
That's a good one.
Okay. So I don't know. Oh, so it was counting my exercise, which I since turned off because I think that's ludicrous.
Yeah.
So it would say, like, with my exercise, you need 2,000 calories. And I was like, you can get bent, MyFitnessPal. That's not going to happen. So here's like a realistic day of tracking. And again, I can go up to 1,500, and that's totally fine
Yep.
for me. So I aim
Yeah.
between 13 and 15. So on this day, I had 1,367 calories. That was 107 grams of carbs. That was 135 grams of protein, 48 grams of fat, which I have to say that's fucking
That
incredible,
is really good.
and 45 grams of sugar, which is exactly where I want to be. I want to be under 60 grams of sugar a day, and 23 grams of fiber, which is
Boom.
great because I need to get to 25. So that's a normal day. And how did that break down? I had a breakfast taco and a clementine for breakfast, and that's about 265 calories and 23 grams of protein. So for those of you who listened 2 episodes ago, you know that my rule is every meal needs to be as close to 25 grams of protein as possible, or what's the point?
Yeah.
Lunch was this awesome Boursin cheese bake that I make,
Nice.
235 calories, 25 grams of protein. Dinner was a Korean chicken bowl with sweet potato, 25 grams of protein, 264 calories. And then I tracked my snacks. So there's this dope ass cheese. It's called Eat Lean. It's like super high protein, low calorie cheese that tastes just like aged cheddar. It's great.
Mm.
So I had cheese, half an apple, and a bag of Quest chips because, like, I was hangry. 30 grams of protein, though, and 260 calories. That's a great snack. I had a pure protein bar. They're not my favorite, but they'll do. And then my last snack was Fiber One cereal, raspberries, and vanilla yogurt because I was like really trying to get my fiber up. I remember
Yep.
this. Um,
Yep.
that one was a bit lower protein, 14 grams of protein and 161 calories, but this snack was for fiber because my fiber was way too low. So that's why this
Yeah.
snack was a little lower in protein. But overall,
I'd say for the day, it's great.
1,367 calories, 135 grams of protein. That was a good ass
It's a
day.
good day.
It was a good day. And so that's how I track my protein. And like, it changes. The very next day I had 1,366 calories. Like,
Yeah.
I
It
go
varies.
in and I track. Do I personally track every day? Nope. I usually go in when I've made new recipes. Oh,
Mhm.
here's a day where I had 1,425 calories and 114 grams of protein. So just because you have more calories doesn't necessarily mean your protein gets way higher. But I must have gone for a run this day. I must have been a bit more hungry, but I hit my fiber goals. My sugar was really low, which is great. My fat was like really low, which was great. Carbs were high, and that's fine. But yeah, I every now and then track. It's not all the time, but usually what happens is when I make a bunch of meals, I will go and put them in MyFitnessPal to say, how do they all balance together? What does a balanced day look like? Great. And then I put all those meal prepped foods into the freezer, and I know that I can just grab and go, and I will roughly be between 13 and 1500 calories. And I have wiggle room in case I want to go get some gelato or have a little Timbit or whatever. But
flexibility.
That's how I track 2.5 years out. I don't do it every day because I don't have to anymore. But in my first year, I did every single day.
Mhm.
And I'm back into it now because I know my protein is way lower than it should be. I can just tell based on how I'm eating and that it's the summer that I'm getting a little lazy and lax with my protein. So I'm back to tracking now because I just want to make sure I get back up to where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah, it's a good visual to have that too. Like I track every day. I usually try and plan. I'm not as good good at it now, but I was tracking everything the night before. So like
Yep.
before bed, I would
That's a
plan
good
out my
idea.
day for the next day.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, because then you're not sitting there going, oh, what should I have?
Oh,
Or if you're
that's
in a hurry,
smart.
like on your lunch break for work, and I am just staring at the fridge. So I do need to get better at that because I was really good at that for quite a while. But I would sit there before bed, plan out my day for tomorrow. But I track everything, and it is, I'm not going to lie, like it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's a really good visual, and
Mhm.
I need it to stay on track and make sure I'm hitting my goals.
Yep.
And it really, once you do it for a little bit, it becomes a heck of a lot easier and faster.
Yes.
So yeah, at the beginning, it's a pain in the ass, 100%. But you get into the groove and the routine. So like I'm at 900 calories.
Perfect.
So this was yesterday, my goal is 90 grams of protein. I had 98. My carb
Wow.
goal is 45 grams. I had 34.
Okay.
My fiber was a little low. I only had 12. So fiber's a hard one, man.
Hard to get to 25, 30.
Yeah. So that one was low. My sugars, I had 13 grams of sugar.
Hey, that's
Right. So that was a
incredible.
low day. I
Wow.
had my goal for fat is 40 grams. I had 25.
Woo.
So my macro goals, so 900 calories, 90 grams of protein, 40 grams of fat, and 45 grams of carbs are my goals. My protein, I typically lately have been going over, which is not a problem.
Yep.
And then, like I said, I keep an eye on my fats. I rarely hit my fat. I had, I forgot to tell you, I had my first, like, I'll say dumping syndrome experience on the long weekend with fat because I
Oh.
took I am really old cheddar cheese to the cottage. And that's like my favorite cheddar cheese, like Hannah's, is like when you cut it and it falls apart.
Yes.
And I hadn't had really old crumbly cheddar cheese since surgery. And I didn't even think to check the fat content on it. And I had a couple little pieces of it. And then I also had a piece of the cheese wrapped in a piece of spicy salami. And it was just too much fat. And I can tell you within minutes, I was in trouble.
Yeah, it's not great.
It was not fun.
It's not fun.
So my fat, I typically though don't really hit. But again, I don't stay hyper focused on that. The protein is the big one. And if
Yep.
I hit my protein, I'm golden. And I will be honest, not to try and like brag about it, but I rarely hit my calories. Like I struggle
Yep.
to hit my calories. And so that's also where part of me is like, oh, I don't need to increase my calories. I'm not even hitting what I need to hit. No, I need to hit my calories more because there's days, I'll be honest, it's not good to admit, but I'm like way under my calories. And part of you will have that from being that obese lifestyle where you're trying to lose weight and you're like, yes, I barely ate today, which we know is not
great.
healthy and
No.
not good.
No.
And so sometimes that will creep in and I'll look at my calories and be like, sweet, I still have 350 calories today that I didn't eat. I'm winning. No, you're not.
No.
You need
Finish those
You need
calories.
to eat it.
Yeah.
So I need to again get back into my like planning my day the night before to make sure I'm hitting those calories.
Yeah,
and
the
then
night
start
before
look
is
at
a good
increasing.
idea.
It was honestly, and I would just before bed, I would sit there. It would take me 5-10 minutes, maybe. I would plan it out for my day. And then that way, the next day, there's no surprises. There's no questioning.
The
It's
biggest
all for you.
thing will be your upfront setup in MyFitnessPal. So if you haven't had surgery yet, take a few days, take a weekend, and start setting up MyFitnessPal. Because yes, the upfront is annoying. It is so much manual entry. And I'm going to recommend, and I know we're wrapping up here in a minute, but I'm going to recommend enter the ingredients yourself. MyFitnessPal is notoriously bad with having the worst calorie info for 90% of the stuff. It's not accurate. So keep the wrapper with you and either re-enter it yourself and save it as your food, or triple check what's in there, because even things like chicken breasts or eggs are way off.
Don't go with the first option.
No.
Look at all, open them up and actually check. Just because it has a green check mark doesn't mean it's right. So open it up, compare it, check it, and then
MyFitnessPal needs some checks there, but verify and check. But the biggest will be setup, putting all your recipes in, all your foods in, all the ingredients in. Yes, that's tedious and annoying as hell. But then it's done. And then, like Steph said, it's literally as easy as going in and going, I'm going to pick some my favorite recipes and drop them in. Great, there's my day. Does that look great? I've used up my calories. Awesome, thumbs up, away we go. And then obviously throughout the day, if things change or edit it, here you go. Like if you didn't finish the full serving, please make sure you edit that in your MyFitnessPal because it will affect your calorie count and your macros over time. But take a weekend, take a few days, put all your recipes in. Yes, it's tedious as hell. Yes, the app is not great and it crashes and breaks all the time. I've literally tried a bunch of other ones like Lose It, Chronometer, a bunch of them. They're not great. They're not worth leaving MyFitnessPal for. They don't have as much info. It is a ton of manual entry on there as well. MyFitnessPal is the best of the worst. So take the time, put your stuff in, try to find the joy in it, try to find that day that is your day to put recipes in and meal prep and all that. And then I like Steph's plan. I'm probably going to start doing it at night when I'm in bed watching TV. I'm probably going to try to plan my meals and my day. Think of it like budgeting. It's important to do that. It's important to think about your calorie budgeting as well.
It makes your next day easier. It's one less thing you have to think about.
Grab and go. It's super easy. But we're going to share a bunch of this on Instagram. We'll share some MyFitnessPal screenshots and some of our calorie counting, but good luck to everybody setting it up for the first time and figuring it out. You've got it. It's not that scary. We're here. If you have questions, reach out and let us know. Like always, Steph, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Thanks to all the listeners.
Bye, guys.
Bye.